computer. All right, guys. All right,
Perfect.
All right, we good? Are we all good?
Yep.
You all let me know if there's more people coming in. Guys, thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. I originally made this clinic for a group of coaches in Louisiana. But I don't know how many guys that there were going to be, but they canceled out on that. I don't know why. They said they had to do something. So I put a lot of time into it, and I just didn't want to not give it. I said, God damn, I drew all this stuff up. So I decided to put it out on Twitter, and I think we got about 50 guys here. So I'm shocked, really. And so I'm really happy everyone's here. Here's my contact information. Anyone that's ever contacted me before, I get back to people right away. My Yahoo and my Twitter is good. I don't check my website, but I'm going to probably post this on the website. I'm going to I'll have it someplace else, maybe on YouTube, and I know Kevin, Coach Swift, is going to put it up on the toolbox. And thanks for doing that, Kevin. I think it's just a really good idea you guys have. And for those of you that downloaded the slide deck, you got it. So it's great. We used to go, I can remember, years ago, I'd go to a clinic with the PowerPoints, and you'd run off 50 sheets of paper, and you'd pass them out to the guys, you'd find half of them on the floor. So it's really good. So, and Tom, Tom Thompson, I didn't give you a shout out. Thank you for your help here looking at my stuff and everything. So, when I was with them, they asked me, what I want to talk about. And gosh, if you're on the internet and you follow Twitter like the way I know all of us do, it's all 10 personnel, it's all 20 personnel. That's everyone. That's all everyone ever wants to talk about, it seems. So to me, where we are, and maybe where you are too, we see a lot of heavy sets, and we're getting heavy sets, and the team that's trying to run zone read. So I just want to kind of go over the stuff that we've been doing all this time. When I was down in Virginia, you had to stop the pro-eye, and you had to stop double tight, and we played an excellent single wing team that was basically a double tight unbalanced, and we played a very good team that made a lot of tray and a lot of trips closed. And I went up and visited URI and UMass this week because it's our school vacation week this week. So I was able to go out and visit some schools close by, and they're all running it. And I think, especially here in the Northeast, it's getting heavy, meaning that we're seeing one tight end, multiple tight ends, two backs in the backfield. So we're going to do it versus under and over. I also have a defense where I call Sarah, Sally. So Sarah is strike right, Sally is strike left. And if we had a 3-man service to the field, we'd be an under. If we had a 2-man service to the field, we'd be an over. In other words, we're setting the front away from the field. And this is kind of my go-to. Is this stuff the greatest stuff in the world? I don't know, but I gotta be honest with you. It's the only thing I know, and it's the only thing I know how to fix. We're going to talk about max fits, and we're going to talk about -1 fits as we move along the slide deck. If I'm going too fast or you need something, let me know. So again, I didn't see Eric Carrillo here, so we're not going to talk about statistics, my philosophy. I always like to say this is the no BS zone. And what I mean by this is that this is stuff that I've previously run. There's only one slide on here that we talked about as a staff, and I've seen other people talk about it. And I just wanted to show you and explain to you why we don't run it. So all the stuff we've run, we've practiced. I have some film. We're not going to have any film tonight. To me, the film on Zoom sucks. So I just get frustrated doing that. So again, just about us a little bit. I've never been part of a true 2-platoon team. The team that I just left. I'm not coaching this year coming up. We had at max 40 kids. So we were basically 1 platoon. When I was down in Virginia, I know Colin's on the call here, and we were 1.5 platoon. And so that's kind of where we are. Half the practice was offense, half the practice was defense, and we always had some special teams time. So we didn't run a lot of stuff, but the stuff that we ran, we thought we'd get really detailed into it. So when I'm talking about play defense, tonight we're going to go over a few principles that permeate all the defenses that we do here. And what's going to happen, I hope, and I hope not maybe, but by the end of the show, by the end of the slide deck, everything's just repeated over and over and over again. And one thing that we do every day before I get started is we go over assignment and alignment every single day. And we do it pregame, and we also do it on Thursday nights before the games. Out of my 30, of my 20 plus years of coaching high school football, about 17 of them I've coached the offensive line as well. So I'm going to make sure those guys are coached up as best as I can get them coached up. Okay, this is just a picture of my underfront here. This is when we were down in Virginia. This is playing Tuscarora High School. They regularly down in Virginia. They regularly play for a state, or they get in the quarterfinals down there. And here they are. They're just a pro offset eye, and they're just going to try and whip your ass. All right. So the few principles that we're going to talk about today are block down, step down, and I'm not going to go over this in a really detailed way. Just wanted you to know what we were thinking. Cloudy and clear rules for our linebackers. But what we are going to do in detail is go over what we call over the load and under load, and it's related to lever, spill, lever. I've never coached lever, spill, lever, but it seems to be related to that, and maybe someone might help me out. Is a technique, what I call look technique, which we're going to go over in detail, and then this high-low concept. And we'll get into that as well. All right. First thing, block down, step down. When we are in our max fits, we are going to be thick on our guys. We are toe to crotch. We're not toe to toe. So my inside, if I were the left three technique, my inside hand would be down, my ball hand would be down, my ball foot would be back. And if that guy comes out, we're going to get our hands on him, one hand on the sternum, one hand on his bicep, and we're going to wash him down, and the linebacker is going to come down, going to come over the top. All right, and we'll get into cloudy and clear rules in a second. We are a spill team. We don't dent. We're a spill team, and the reason why we are a spill team, and I'm not saying you have to be a spill team, is the teams that we're going to face, they're going to be running power, and they're going to be running trap, and they're going to be running some veer possibly if it's Derek Almeida, and we're playing him. We are going to try to, if you watch North Dakota, we're going to try to spill all the way down that A gap and get our shoulder square. If you are playing a 10 team or a team that's doing a lot of power read stuff, well, maybe you don't need to get down into that A gap as much as we do, but we're going to stop that A gap power, and our kids going to be screaming down inside in there. Okay, so our tag technique. So if we are sending a defensive end inside, we call that a pinch technique. Okay, we call this pinch. He's pinching inside. He's going to maintain his gap. We are never going to cross face unless we're on a particular blitz. If he were to slant, or we lateral step and go at the hip, and this guy down blocked, we are on what we call heel line trail. And again, this permeates through all of our defenses. And again, I just want to reiterate, we do not cross face. I know some people out there do, we just don't. And perhaps if this team were a big GT counter team, maybe we would teach that. But again, these linebackers are going to read cloudy and clear. So our linebackers aren't really assigned a gap, or if they are assigned a gap, the gap could easily move versus any down block. So our linebackers read guard to backs, and sometimes if we're playing a big one-back team, and lots of times, guys, I hope some of these one-back teams, their offensive line just sucks, and they're not really good, and it makes it more difficult to read. And we will read the back and the quarterback action versus Big Ten teams. That being said, right in the first day of camp, we're going guards to back. We're cloudy and clear in our linebackers are going to hit everything with their inside shoulder as far as any sort of ISO. And we're going to go ahead and talk about those fits in a second, about our over the load and under the load fits. Carrie Vipon, did you just come in late? All right. So here's us, a double tight king, queen back set, I guess. So if they would run an ISO, our MAC linebacker is going to hit with his inside shoulder, and the will linebacker is going to hit with his inside shoulder. Many teams spill this guy, and they come over, or they're going to spill it to a corner or spill it to some sort of a safety. We do not do that. And we're going to go ahead and explain later why we don't do that. But the point is that, to me, if this guy knows that he's hitting everything with his inside shoulder, he doesn't need to worry whether this guy's here or not. Yeah, and I know that many teams give an "I'm here" call, but when it comes nut cutting time and the crowd is loud, is that 16-year-old kid going to be clued in to that "I'm here" call? So our rule is this kid's always going to hit any sort of load block with his inside shoulder. And we're going to vice everything like this. I know other teams, they cross over again. We're going to vice it. So what does it pull? We would also call this a load block. So the MAC linebacker is going to hit it with his right shoulder. He's going to hit it with his left shoulder. So now he's our force. So is this a spill or a lever? I don't know. Is he spilling this guy? So this is why I don't like that terminology. To me, we're over the load. He's under the load, but over this load. He's under this load. He's backside, and we'll talk about that later. So here's a load block. He's over the load. He's under the load, but he's also under this load. So he's over the load, under the load, over the load, under the load. So we all fit in there nice. Let's take a look at it to the weak side. Here comes the load block again. Will is over the load, hitting with his inside shoulder. Mac is under load. This Buck, he's in a 3-point stance, by the way. We have played him in a 2-point stance, but most years we play him in a 3-point stance. Now this rover or safety, he's going to be over this load block. So if we call this a load block, we call this a load block. Over, under, over, under. That's the way we play it. This is the way that we talk about it on day one. All right, so let's play this out. Let's talk about midline with a load in the midline. So this is quarterback is running midline. All right, so he inside releases, he blocks down step downs, he's a dive player. Now we have an ISO block here. He's over the load, he's under load. We always need to have 2 people on this quarterback. Let me do that for you again. Again, he's going to tackle the dive or the midline. The quarterback's going to keep the ball. You see Navy do this all the time, not out of this particular formation that, they have guys motion all over the place. But again, we have a guy loading, under load, over the load, under the load. Okay, let me draw this up. So we have this concept of what I call high guy and low guy. We don't teach you got the quarterback, you got the pitch back. Right now in a maxed out front, our outside linebackers, he's going to be the high guy. This guy's going to be the low guy. Well, if you're running speed, they both look high, but this guy's higher than this guy. High guy, low guy. Steve Walsh, yes, I'm going to share the recording. Zone read. Low guy, he's going to come down for the low guy. He's the high guy. And we'll get into that. If they're running power read, let's set this power read this way. Again, he's a low guy. He'll be the high guy. He's over the load. He's under load, so he'll be a low guy. And then this is just straight veer. So this is the way we talk to our kids. So, some days instead of doing 7-on-7, we'll do this. We'll have a period where that's all we'll do. We'll have some cans here, and we'll learn low guy, high guy. Now, this is a principle that's going to run through all our different defense. So all these principles are going to run through all our different fronts. All right. So this is what we call the look technique. So this could be a free safety. This could be a rover, a backside safety, a corner. So all of our DBs need to know the look position. And what the look position means is, listen, we had trouble with this calling it something else. You got to look, you stupid bastard, at the tight end. This tight end blocks down. You're not the force. The outside guy's the force. We're going to fit in here. That's the look position. Now, well, what if he doesn't block down? And I have other slides with that. So that's the look position there. All right. What is it? He's in a look position here. So many teams, to me, in order for a defense to be sound, it's got to be able to stop triple option, or it's got to be able to stop the option with as many people that you have in the backfield. So many teams, when they play us, they're going to arc this guy. So as a base rule, we're going to call this a load block. He's a pitch player. The free safety is going to be over the load. The MAC is going to be under load. He's the dive player. These guys are quarterback players. We have two in the quarterback, a quarterback player over the load, a quarterback player under load, and he's our pitch player. Of course, if the guy pitches the ball, all these guys are always quarterback to pitch. He's going to try to come over the top. He's backside cutback. Now, when this guy arc blocks, we don't know who he's going to block. He could be what they call a seal blocker, or he could be a lead blocker. And we're going to talk about some of that a little bit later. But either way, as soon as he commits to somebody, the other guy's going to be free. All right. So when we line up in double tight, with the offense lines up in double tight, we're going to have an underside and an overside. It's going to be the same thing to the underside, and we'll get into this, but we're going to run with a 3 and a 6. I like to, if this guy's great, we put him in a 7. If it's not so great, we'd like to have him right head up in a 6. But again, he's going to get the arc block as well. He could be sealing it. Again, we're going to be over the load, and we're going to be under the load, and he's going to be the pitch player. Now, take a look at it over here. If they decide to run triple this way, here comes our load block. He's going to be over the load. He's going to be under load. He's the pitch player. He's a dive player. Cut back, cut back. Do we need to see that again, or good? Okay. All right, so kind of.
Jerry, I got a question, Jerry.
Yeah, go ahead. Who is it?
When that for practical purpose defensive end, is he forcing that arc, or is he just letting that arc go and coming underneath it?
He's letting the arc go. As soon he's a C gap player. As soon as he sees this arc, he's down for dive. That's one of the hardest. He's one of the hardest things on this defense. Okay. So it's a big. If we know we're going to see this triple option to a 3-6 side, the big emphasis on it that week.
So you're not going to try to hold them up. You're going to let that linebacker and everybody get a read right away, so they know where they got to.
Absolutely, I hate muddy reads. So a lot of premise of what we do here is quick reads and not make it money. Don't forget, if it's money for them, it's money for you. So I don't want my linebacker coming off the field and say, oh, geez, I couldn't see it. I want it clean, clear, and crisp. So
right.
We're going to talk about our linebackers being, our linebackers play downhill. We do not track, stack, and fall back or any of that. There's merit in that. To me, it's difficult if it's 3rd and 2. You're tracking and stacking. It's very difficult to stop that down. And so I don't know how to teach it, but I know a lot of teams do it, and a lot of teams that's their base. Just not what we do. I'm not invalidating what they do. Okay, so we have this fold technique. So if we have an outside linebacker that's stacked up in our box, he also needs to become a box player as well. And he's going to hit everything with his inside shoulder. It happens a lot. I shouldn't have drawn it this way, but it happens a lot more to the Sam Nichols side than it does to this guy, because this guy's generally in a 3-point stance. We do play some 3-4 defense, but it's all 4-man down spacing. So I'm not going to get into all that with you tonight, but we don't play, true mint defense or tight defense or with the 2-3 the 2-4 eyes. I'd love to. I'm not a good enough teacher to do that. We don't have enough time. I think there's a lot of merit to doing that. But so when we do play our 3-4 defense, it is 4-down spacing the majority of the time. Okay, so let's get into some adjustments here. Okay, so here's pro split. So we already talked about triple option, dive, pitch, but let's get into ISO again. We're gonna have everything ISO. What if they ran? We played this. I saw this team. We didn't play them. I saw this team, Albany, back in the 90s. I don't know if anyone's familiar with. I think his name was Coach Ford. He would run speed lead. Well, let's just say let's go power read with a lead block. So now they're going to run power read this way. Down, down, guards pulling, right? So we need to be over the load, under the load. Here's our pull. We're over this load and under this load. This is the way we would play that. He's going to be a low player. These guys are low players to high players. So if this popped out here, these two guys would be on. These guys are playing the low, which could be the quarterback, right? This safety here has this B gap. We run a lot of pinch. So to help him out a little bit, we'll run a lot of pinch. I also like to call Raider, which is a pinch and what we call a clap call. I like doing that. That kind of bounces out a little bit. So let's look at that. So if they went ahead and ran that speed lead, which I think is a really difficult play, we're here, 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 and here. Whoops, excuse me. The free safety would be here, because we have him down below. So what this free safety doing, any backside safety, they're using what we call, they come down and they're coming down with their inside leg up, shoulder square, wait for any cutback. And we don't, not scooch technique. We call, I can't think of the name that we call that, but we have a word that we use for this guy coming inside here. Colin, do you remember? Did they teach you that? He's not paying attention. Colin Oliver was on.
No, I don't remember what your terminology was. I'm trying to think of, is it what we called the tackling with our feet, or is that something different?
Well, we would kind of just hop up there. Inside foot, inside foot, inside foot.
I'm thinking of Belichick when he would say scallop is kind of what's coming to my mind.
Thank you. That we stole that right from that film. So we would scallop up in here. Thank you, Colin. Colin and I didn't work together. Colin came after I left. I was at Broad Run High School, and they had made it to the state championship game this year. Congratulations, Colin. But anyways, Colin you kind of took my spot, didn't you, Colin, down there?
Yeah. So me and Terry and Chris kind of all is kind of a three-headed.
Yeah, three-headed monster.
Yeah.
Okay, good. We run a speed lead coming this way. We'd be here. If he would have blocked down for some reason, over the top of that, and here. But generally, this guy, well, I've never seen it that way, but if he would come up and block him or seal this. think I'm good here. Triple power read leads, post. Okay, good. We already had counter. Let's go next slide. Okay, so if we were in tight split, okay, so here's what we talked about before. We have our underside, we have our overside. Now this corner right here, he's in the look technique. So if they're running power, down, down, kick out, he needs to fit right in over here. Down, pull, overload, underload. He's going to fold back in. He's going to stack up in case this thing would come all the way around, which it never does. But we have an extra guy here, so we can go ahead and do that. Again, if they ran an ISO to the weak side here, we're not gonna spill to this free safety. We're gonna be here with it. We're gonna be here with it. He's gonna be in here with it. And the free safety would come in and take it one way or the other. Block it down. This guy might even block out like this. If he blocked out, sometimes we'll teach him to fold back in here. So this is the way that we line up the tight split. Where do you set the SAM? I get that. Sometimes we'll follow a guy out. So if this were 81 and this were 10, we would go ahead and tell the SAM or the nickel, the SAM to go ahead and follow 81. Here's what happens to this. Once teams see us do this, then they're going to start flip-flopping all their guys and trading and doing all that stuff. So we'll start out following the guy, and then I'll just call Sarah and Sally, and then we'll live with it. Or sometimes, if this guy's a stud for us, we'll have him line up backwards. So I'll have the 81 side. I might tell the Buck, if he's really good, I might tell him to follow 81 and make this the 3-5 side. We've done that a few times against our teams, double tight teams, like that ran the single wing. We would do that sometimes. Sometimes, like they'd put like a number 10 right here. Well, we're not going to have a stud line up to a number 10 that's lined up as an offensive tackle. That, you know, we'd shift everybody down, or we'd find a way out of it. Okay. All right, so I get asked a lot about wing T, and so the way we play this is he's going to widen out a little bit, but a lot of teams play this guy on the line of scrimmage, and I don't like doing that. To me, if they're down blocking, he can come up, scallop up there and set his inside foot in plenty of time. There's been times when we might put another safety in here. If we're getting a lot of this wing stuff, I might have the rover line up to a wing and flip-flop these guys, or I'll have one corner that's better than another corner, for instance, and I'll have him go to, excuse me, this side that I know is going to be that wing side. Let's go pin pull or buck sweep. Down, down, buck sweep. He's going to play back into him, but he's going to block. He's going to be over the load. He's going to be under load. He's going to be over this load. He's going to be under this load. He's in a look position. He's going to fill it up. He's got the cut back. Any questions about that? You want to do it again? Down, down. He's over the load. He's under load. He's over this load. He's under this load. Backside cut back.
Yeah, Coach, I have a quick question about your kid at the point of attack. Is that an S? Is that a stud? Whatever you call him, that end. Your alignment, and do you have him in a 3-point stance? We have to deal with a lot of just.
Who? The S?
Yeah, we tend to get, there are times when we can potentially get outmanned there. And so he's in kind of he's on the inside eye of that wing, trying to occupy that D gap and not get moved.
Okay,
Correct?
so
I mean, what do you teach him?
right. If you're getting outmanned, I'm going to put up. I think it's my next slide.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're getting outmanned to that, flip the front. Line up backwards. Mike, make the buck go to this guy and put your big guy in the big guy. So let's go over this. So we're down, 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 kick out. And I'll tell you the biggest problem that we have with this. He's over the load. He's under the load, but over this load, under this load. He's here and he's here. So that's what I do when this guy can't help. But this guy, this striker, the Sam is usually one of the better guys on our team. So I'll put him there.
Thanks.
Hey, Jerry, it's
Yeah.
Gary. Who's your spill player on that?
On
On
this one right here?
yeah, play side.
Well, it depends what you call it. I don't use that terminology. I go over the load and under load. So who spill, like, is he spilling? I don't know. Like if he's blocking down, if he's coming down, he's going to see the down block and try to fight back because he knows what's coming. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I just want to know who I'm looking at. Yep.
Okay. Honestly, I hate when people say that. The biggest, why wouldn't I be honest? The biggest problem that we have with these plays is the corners, right? To me, I'm an offensive high school defensive coordinator. I'm an offensive high school coordinator. I'm going to make these guys tackle. And I want to try to make them tackle big dudes. That's what I'm doing. It's all cool. Hey, we got these guys out in space, and my guy is going to tackle your guy in space, but he ain't going to be able to take on these big dudes here. He'll be able to tackle your guy in space. He can't take this on. To me, and I promised I wouldn't get all philosophical here. High school, in my opinion, at most high school, is a game of attrition. When you're playing one platoon football, it's a game of attrition. So my defensive line, these guys are also our offensive linemen too, So these guys are going to sub out on defense. I don't want my offensive line subbing out. So to me, high school is a game of attrition. I want to try to wear his ass out. And if he's not big enough, I'm going to swap these guys. I'll put the rover down here and I'll put the corner back here. But usually I'll have one corner that's a little bit tougher than the other corner. This is my 150 guy. Maybe this is my guy that weighs 175, 185. Maybe he's a bigger body. Maybe he's a senior. Maybe he's a sophomore. So I'll get my bigger guys around the ball. These guys are usually my lacrosse players. They're a little bit tougher. Maybe these guys are basketball players. Maybe. So that's kind of what the way I'm looking at it. So Derek Almeida asked, can you define load a little bit more specifically? So Derek, it's not the same load that you use in your triple option football. So a load block can be, in our terminology, and I know where you're coming from, because you guys will sometimes call that a load block, and I get that. A load block is anything. Let me go back a slide or two. Anything that's coming out. So this come out, we call this a load. Okay, we call this a load. Anytime a guy's coming out and there's two sides of them, we're going to go ahead and call that a load. Derek, I hope that makes sense. If you so we call this a load. It's not coming from. That's not a load. It's coming from the backfield. It's someone being pulling. It's an arc block. So that's our terminology. So Derek, if you want, you can DM me and we can talk about it more, or we can go on. But that's what I'm calling a load. It's not like what you and I would call a load, like on a line of scrimmage, stick option or whatever. Okay. a lot of people will ask me about wing, so I'll just go with my wing tee. He comes in motion. So our guys with the wing tee, we're fixed here. Oh, makes sense. Okay, great. So our eyes fixed. So now he's going to come like this. He's going to go ahead and pick him up, take him man. This guy's going to come out, take him low. We'll take him high. Going to take him here. They're going to pull. These guys are pulling. And we are going to contain with the front side guy. We're going to ask this backside linebacker to go ahead and find this guy. Some of you guys use the term robot. We don't go ahead and spin around. I know if you guys listen to Kyle Kogan, he's going to teach his guys to turn and spin. We don't do that. We just tell him to try to hunt this guy up and just run. So that's kind of the way that we play the bootleg or the waggle. Okay, he's going to come in motion. We'll pick him up. We'll pick him up. You can do this two ways. We run with him, and then lots of times these son of a bitches will take this guy like this, and we'll be back here, and then come. We play it like that. I know other teams will keep this guy back here and run with him. I just don't do it that way. That's all, because his eyes are on him anyways. His eyes are in the Rover's eyes are more in the backfield. I saw Adam just came in. Adam Gale, good. I got a question for you later on, Adam, to clear up something for me. Okay, so unbalanced. We're going to be kind of like man this. And now this Rover here, he's in the look position. So everything's the same. Let's run a counter, I guess. Again, he's going to go ahead and spill this. He'd be over the load. He'd be under the load. Backside, he's blocking. And we're going to come back in here. Okay, he'd be spilling this. Over this load, under this load, over, under. So that's a big play that the team Tuscarora used to, they saw in the beginning, used to run on us. Let's do it again. Blocking down, he's blocking down. He's coming to kick his ass under the load. Over this load, right here. He's here, he's here. We're asking the corner to go ahead and take that spill. He used to give some sort of a call. I got no wide receiver, That tells everybody to bump over one, over two, over three. In times before, I have played this with kind of like a, I'll go over it later, kind of like a rock here, fire zone. I call this rock, but kind of like a fire zone coverage, fire zone principles, I guess, with different people. Adam, you had told me a time where you might play outside level, kind of like special here. What did you call that, Adam? Like a Dallas or something? You still on here, Adam? No, it's not. Oh, somebody asked me earlier today. They had a tackle. They had a four-man side. All we're going to do is knock it. New offensive center. We just play the same exact thing. One more over. So everything would be the same. We haven't been doing that. Sometimes if this is a Y, and these are three offensive linemen, sometimes we'll flip the front a little bit and put a buck on him, so we don't have an offensive tackle on a Sam linebacker. We'll just call over to that. We've done that before versus unbalanced with the tight end backside. We've done that. He would have him basically man. These two. So what we do right here is you could play it man, but we're going to play kind of like a cover four here. But this guy doesn't have any pass responsibilities unless he reads pass. So these guys are playing like a cover four over the top. And if he is going to help, he'll help late. We're not a big man team. All our coverages are generally zone. Depth and footwork of the look player carry. Okay, so the good question. So this guy is 8 yards deep. He's looking. He's head up. Sometimes we might align him outside a little bit, never too far inside. My problem is I got to keep my hand on their belt buckle, because if it's third and short, these guys are. There's been times when he's been ahead of the linebacker. So these guys try to keep them at 8 yards, unless it's 3rd and 10 or something like that, and they line up like this. Then they'll back up. But sometimes I'll tell these guys 10 yards, and then because I know they're going to creep up to 8. So and then we'll just settle on 8. Maybe that's undercoaching, not overcoaching, undercoaching. I don't know. Tight full. If they're going to pack it in, we're going to pack it in. Again, we're going to have a 5-9 side and a 3-6 side. He's going to hit everything inside out. If they ran, we've seen double ISO out of this before. So according to our rules, he's got to hit it with this way. According to our rules, he's got to hit it this way, and he's going to fill it up in the middle. He'll fill it here, and he'll fill it here. So it would be possible if we knew we were getting this, we might pinch some of these guys inside to make it bounce out a little bit. But this is the way that we would play tight full. Okay, pro doubles. All right. So to me, you need to be able to stop zone read and power read when it looks like this. So when I was up at UMass, I actually sat in on the offensive meeting. They were very nice to me, and I got to sit in. The offensive coordinator spent about 90 minutes or 2 hours with me, and then I got to listen. I got to sit in on their practice tape with them. So that was awesome. And he says, we work to everything. We want to make this look as even as possible. We want our heels on his heels, and we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that happens. All right. These guys are playing like a cover 4 with no help. So now in this Will linebacker, he's the force player. He's the force player. So he has to be over the load. Now again, he's going to be hitting everything with his inside shoulder anyways. So if they ran speed option here, if they ran speed option, he's the low player. He's the high player. These guys are all in behind it. Okay, so and all this is just going to keep on repeating over and over again. If they run ISO here, I'm a big, I don't know what this quarterback ISO scares the shit out of me. We don't see it too much, but to me, you need to be sound at quarterback ISO. Zone read. He's here. He's going to come here for zone read. He's reading the quarterback. The quarterback opens up this way. Block down, step down. He's forced, so he's the high player. He's a backside gap here again with a pinch call, or when we send both these guys inside, we call that a pirate. Pirate for 1, pinch for 1, pirate for 2. There'll be times when we'll send him clap for 1, clobber for both. If we're going to clobber this, we tell this guy to line up outside. He also has to relate to number 3 coming down the pipe. Let's take a look at power read. I don't know. Let's arc block power read. He's the high guy. He's over the load. He's under the load. He's the low guy. We got a puller. He's got to stay behind the puller. These guys got to stay backside. So lots of times, this is part of the reason why that this guy's going to block back. We are not going to go over this. They have 2 guys back here. We need to keep 2 guys back here on the power read, because the quarterback can go. I've seen quarterbacks go like this on the power read. So we're not gonna go, when one guy pulls, we're not gonna go over that back block. We need to stay backside because this guy's going over the top. I think we're good. Anybody want to see anything else out of this? It's gonna, I have it with a linebacker. I think the next slide, my guy's over here. So again, it's just gonna keep on repeating itself over and over and over again. Okay. Okay, I have it to the three-man surface now here. All right. So I was watching URI practice this the other day. With the three-man surface, we have a 6 and a 3 here. Down, down. If it's zone read, this guy's going to arc block out. He's got to be over this load. He's got the dive. He's got the low man. He's got the high man over here. Same thing as triple option. Let's do it again. We have the arc block. He's low man. He's got to be over this load. Under this load. He's got the low guy, and the high guy's got to play out. Here. Now here's what Sam's got to fold in over here. This is what I was telling you about before in the principles. So again, all these principles play over and over and over again. Let's talk about, would you bandit be on the surfboard backside on the power ring case of Quebec? No, Mike, not when we're max fit. We don't need that. We always have an extra guy, so we don't need the surfboard back there, Mike. So Mike's asking, would the bandit be on the surfboard backside on the last power read in case of QB pull? No, we have 2 guys back there, and there's only 2 people back there. There's only 2 blockers, so no. Let's go. Let's go power read. He's the high guy, down, down. He's the low guy, quarterback here. Here comes the puller. He's over the load. He's under the load. And we're here. He's got the pitch. Here's the load. We need a guy under the load, over the load. I need to show you this. So what happened, and this is what I was telling you about URI. So last week, Monday, I went to URI and the offense was blocking a play like this. Right? He's got to come back for here. He's got to come up for here. When this guy blocks, he's now the force. He's over he's over it. He's over it. He's back in here and he folds in. Okay, good. All right, double tight, double flanker. So someone was asking me before, yes, quarterback ISO, double, okay, so quarterback ISO, down here. We're gonna box this like this. He's backside. He's at the C gap. We're gonna come here. And we're gonna play it like this. Could you spill it? I know teams that do, and we can spill to this guy. It's probably more sound to spill it in this one case, but I'd rather have my guy be a great boxer and teach just this particular spot because we're double tight. We have 2 I'm here players. Now this Mac linebacker needs to decipher that. Oh, if it's 2 I'm here calls, I can go ahead and spill that because I have plenty of people. I don't want that. Could the quarterback come back here and come all the way out here? Yeah, I guess he could, but so can my guy too. So that's the way we're going to play that. Again, we've been through this. So zone read and power read. Again, to a look. We have a look technique here. We have a look technique here. So we've already gone through this. So the week that we see double tight, double flanker, we've already seen it. The rover knows how to play look technique. The free safety knows how to play look technique. He knows if it's 2x2, he can be a force player. These guys are a man. They'd call a lock right here. So in other words, if this guy decided to go out for a route, he'd cover him. He'd be a low guy, he'd be a high guy. If it was power read, if it was zone read that side. If it's power read, again, he's gonna be the low guy here. Excuse me, the low guy here. And this will linebacker is the high guy. It's the way we're playing that. Over the top, over the scallop backside. Yeah, we got 50 people. Good. All right, trips. How does it look technically play out versus pass? Is it true man on that side? Okay, so let's go back. Derek, is it here it's true man, Derek, right? But on this side right here, we would probably play it if they went like this, we'd probably play that like that. You see what I'm saying? Because we play that like that. Okay, so this is kind of like if you cover this guy up, this is kind of like the a safety in a corner. So that's the way we play that out. 1, 2, 3. This is a base concept in what we do on the backside. So yeah. So this is what we do right here. If you want to lock it up, go ahead and lock it up. And then I don't. And then if this guy would at least here now, the back linebacker would have to pick him up if you decide to lock this up here. And I don't like my back linebacker going up against number 1. So that's why we go ahead and do that. And yeah, I learned my lesson on it. So that's the beauty of being old. You get to learn a lot of lessons. Anything changed? T-back is pistoled up. No, Carrie, no. So if this linebacker is pistoled up like this, the only thing that might change is that now the threat of power read is gone. So I like when they're pistoled up because to me, it takes away a play. So if the quarterback opens this way, we automatically know that it's veer this way. He's going to cut back here. He's going to come out this way. He's not going to hand off here and then come back this way. Now, sometimes this guy might run veer and have him pop out this way, but we know that we can go ahead and send these guys. And for teams that do that, out of pistol, we're reading the quarterback for just for that reason. So I like playing pistol teams when we're maxed up. It's not quite as fun when you're -1, but when we're maxed up, we love playing the pistol. You get much double ISO? No. Do you get much double ISO? How are you teaching over underload with it? Mike, we don't get much double ISO at all. Okay, trips. Okay, so to me, I think in these terms, we're going to keep, again, we're maxed out. So how am I going to handle these guys? For us, we run a shit ton of fire zone. So we're going to go ahead and play fire zone here. I'm not going to get into the coverage right now. If you want to get into it later on, another day we can. A little plug for my book. We talk all about it in our book. But anyways, these guys are kind of playing, just because you're not blitzing doesn't mean you can't play fire zone coverage. To me, we are blitzing because we're maxed out. We're just not sending that guy guessing which gap he's going into. So again, everything plays out exactly the same way. Now this corner is in the look position. So Derek, this kind of gives us a better look at it. So he's here. He'd have to run like this, and it would play out like that. If he went like this and he went like that, he'd have to take him and he'd have to take him. Obviously not exactly what we want, but hey, to me, it's 3rd and short or whatever. We're gapped out and they can get us on that. But again, this guy's usually one of our better guys. Any questions here? Let me clean this up. Okay, I'll move on. So again, it's getting a little monotonous, which is a good thing. It's the same thing over and over again. Okay, we'll sometimes, if we have Sarah called on, so, and we get a two-man service to the field, that means we're playing over on this side. I've seen, yeah, we're playing over and we're kind of playing an under on this side. So these guys need to know fire zone rules. So our rover and our strike, our Sam, know all the fire rules. Seam curl flat. Now, in this scenario, we're going to slide this. Now he is the force player. So here's the thing. We don't play all these things every week against every team. I'm giving you options what to do, what's best for your team. So you're not going to see all this every week. There might be a week that we, in fact, slide is a first week thing for us. So let's go ahead and play this out over here. So zone read, he inside releases, he's the low guy, he's the high guy, he's here, and he's all the way cut back. That's the way that's the way we're going to play that. Power read. He's the low guy. Now the mic's going to be the high guy and over the load. He's under the load. He's here. He's here. Who would have the backside B gap when quarterback ISO to the strong side out of that? Quarterback ISO to the strong side out. Who have the backside B gap? There's generally a defensive tackle always in our B gaps. There's also a lots of times we'll get that B gap covered, but if we're an under on that side, we'll have a B gap player. But sometimes the A gap can get a little bit weak, and we'll get that rover. So for instance, let's see. I don't know what slide you're talking about, but if they ran quarterback ISO here, since he's in the box now, we'd have to play it like that. He's got the D gap. He's got this gap right here, depending on how they block this, how this shakes out. But we're going to have 2/1. Get this thing to possibly cut back, but and vice it here. Plays out like that sometimes. We don't do anything with, and maybe we should, but I don't know if we have enough time. Sometimes teams will, I think they call, and I saw Adam Gaylor here and Dante. They block this guy out and they send this guy out. And actually, Cody, you call that something too, don't you? Cody T-Gog or something? Or some teams call this Jimmy. We don't teach that. I think it's a good technique, but it's just one more thing that we got to teach. Okay, that's 1 hour. We got about I don't know, maybe a half hour more. Can you guys take me? All right, Trey. Yes, T-Joe. Okay, good. Okay, so Trey, again, we're going to go ahead and man this up, or maybe read it, however you want to do it. We'll be man on him. He is a force player on this side. So again, down block, low player, high player. It's the same thing over and over again, guys. We need to be, if they ran a power read, he's the pitch player, over the load, under the load, over that load, under it. It's all the same thing over and over again. Trey open. It's going to change up a little bit when we get to our -1 stuff. Okay, I think we get into -1 now. Trey closed. Oh crap. Sorry again. We've gone through this backside here. So if you were to arc block, he'd be the low player. He'd be the high player. If you were to down block here, this Will would have to come back and be the low player, and the corner would have to come and be the high player. Mac would come over the top. Rover would come over in here, provided these guys are blocking. Again, we could make a pinch call here. We don't give, lots of teams give their safeties the go ahead to make the pinch calls or to make a slant inside calls. We don't do that. I'll call that if I want it. I like to mix it up. I don't want to present, I don't want one guy forgetting about it, but I'm going to go ahead and control that. So the -1 thoughts, who was their best player? Most teams that we faced, the quarterback has been their best player. So we are going to make the quarterback operate. We're going to make the quarterback hand the ball off. We're going to make the quarter, if we are going to, we'll send 2 at the quarterback, try to beat him up a little bit. We're going to make the quarterback, see if they can throw that ball. Can the quarterback throw that slant? Only then are we going to get into minus. So we're going to make them, and we're going to practice it each week, but they're going to push us in. We're not going to open up going -1, having one guy play 2 different things. We're going to stop their best thing. Now, maybe their receiver is their best player, and we might open up with that. So who do we need to cover? Well, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to put our best guy on that guy man to man, right? If the guy's still beating us, now we'll go 3 over 2 or 2 over 1. Can you force the quarterback to give a keep? So this has been my problem in the past. Hey, we're going to make that quarterback give the ball. We're going to give a surfboard read and do it slow, and we want the ball handed off. Well, guess what? When it was 3rd and 1, they were running zone read, but they weren't reading shit. That quarterback, the coach told them to read it, but they weren't reading shit. The quarterback knew he was just keeping the ball. We had a really good quarterback a few years ago. He ended up going to Wake Forest. His brother ended up going to Wake Forest too. But you knew the head coach would call zone read, and you knew he wasn't reading shit. He was one of the best. He was the best player on the field. He was keeping that, and he was going to put the game on his shoulders, which we appreciated because he got a lot of it. So I know a quarterback's doing that. We're going to attack him. Okay, how consistent is the quarterback, and how patient are they? Really going to throw a 5-yard slant into our guys coming down? They might complete 1. They might. Are they going to do 3 in a row? Are they going to get that ball completed 3 times? Because we're going to whack the shit out of you. And then do they throw to the opposite receiver? So these are the questions that we ask ourselves. Later, coaches. Take my butt to dinner. Thanks, Joey. You're welcome, Kevin. Good. All right, so let's get into -1 stuff. Okay, so we're going to be -1 to the side of the running back in this particular case. So these guys are out of the fit. So that means that one guy's got to do 2 things. Maybe one guy playing 2 gaps. One guy's playing, but in these cases, we're going to have the surf. Okay, so he inside releases. So whenever we call this, we're stuck in gaps now. There's no scraping involved. Gap, gap, gap. So that's the way we're going to play. So he's got the low guy and the high guy. So we need to spend time doing this. When I was at the UMass practice, Johnny Brown was their defensive coordinator up there. They had a 10-minute period of the running backs, the offense's starting running backs and quarterback, and the defensive and defensive guys that had to do it. So they were working the shit out of this, Joey, and you got to do it. They're telling this guy to scrape paint, stay as tight as you can be. Stay as tight as you can be. And I don't want to get into all the different ways that you do that. I'm just trying to tell you how we fit. I thought I saw Adam Gaylor on the screen. He's got him and Kyle Kogan have some really good different ways how to have guys play 2 different gaps, and he's got some good thoughts there. If they ran zone read, we already went over zone read, right? So, power read, he's pulling, there's only 2 guys backside. So we need to keep 2 guys backside. So he can come over the top. Mark is gonna stay outside. Again, he's the low guy. He'd be the high guy because we're in one back. Okay, we're in one back. He's the high guy. He's the low guy. If they blocked it, he would now become the low guy and he'd become the high guy. These guys are out of it. Okay. Slide. All right, so some teams, we do some of this, but not a whole hell of a lot of playing cover 3 to this. But you know, a lot of teams will play cover 1 or cover 3 to this. Go ahead and do that. It'd be the same thing. Again, when we are -1, these guys are single gaps. So what do you do when it's quarterback ISO? He's over here. And so someone was asking, you know, who's got this backside A gap or the backside B gap? He's got it. Always got to stay behind the quarter. We always tell this guy, this backside guy, to stay behind the quarterback. So one guy's got to do 2 things. I think that might have been what someone was asking me before. So let's go over that again. So we always tell the backside linebacker, you got to stay behind the quarterback. He's going to be boxing it. We want to try to force that thing to cut back. But once this guy gets ahead of the quarterback, he's going to stack up. But now he's got 2 gaps. Again, somebody's got to do 2 different things. I got to go great. Thank you, Dante. Okay, any problem with scraping? Do you have any problems over scraping with skip pulls? Yeah, we do, Carrie. You know, so what I'll do, Carrie, is if my guys are over scraping, the first thing I do is just tell them to pause a step and go, or hold on. Here's what I've had luck doing before, Carrie. So the question is do you have trouble over scraping? Yeah. So this guy, well, let's do it the other way. Oh, shit. Undo. Okay, so this guy comes and pulls. He sees the pull and starts running with it, and he overscrapes it because he's too crazy. We try to slow him down. Again, stand behind the quarterback. So, Kerry, here's what happens to us. This guy goes flying over, bang. He cuts it right behind the center, and we're dead. So I'm all after these guys, stay behind the quarterback, stay behind the quarterback, stay behind the quarterback. If he's having trouble, Kerry, I'll widen this guy out and then let him run from there. You know, yeah, pacing. Okay, pro doubles. Okay, so just the other way around. Again, so you might want to, so what teams will do sometimes is they'll zone read here and send this guy right to the flat now. And if you don't cover him, they're going to dump it out. So we'll play this like this. And then if they want to put the slant there, we'll go ahead and we'll play that like that. Okay, so teams will zone read this. They'll flat release the son of a bitch. And then this is kind of like a pitch back if you think about it, right? It's like triple option. He's under it. He's doing 2 things, here and here. So that's the way that plays out. So it's zone read -1, but they're basically triple option, right? They'll go here. They'll see that he's surfing. They'll go ahead and raise this up and try to bang it right in there. If he jumps this, they're going to try to bang this. If he tries to get on the slant, they'll go ahead and bang that. Okay, so team, you know, because this is particularly good against us because they'll put this guy out wide. They know this is they know that I like to lock that up. So these guys will make a lock call here. You know, there's all sorts of shit that they can fuck you with. Any questions there? Getting some good questions tonight. Okay. So it's pro double with a -1. So we're playing a cover 4 lock. Again, you could play cover 3 to it as well if you wanted. I'm not a big cover 3 guy, so I don't like that. So here's what, and I wish Dante was still here. I think, I don't know, I think teams call this slinging the fit, where they're going to walk the linebacker out and have the free safety play back in here, okay? I don't do that. The reason why I don't do that is, what are you doing quarterback ISO? Looks good on paper, and I think those guys that do it call slinging the fit. If anybody knows, am I wrong? I don't know that. Does anyone know that answer? I was hoping that Dante Batti kind of taught me about that, and Adam Gaylor. I saw them here, but they're not answering. I know Dante left. We don't play this. We will walk this dude out when it's empty, so he does know how to do this. But again, I'm more concerned about this dude right here. Okay, this is just, if it's pro doubles, you walk it out there. I don't do that. So, all right. So double tight, double flanker. Fucking bitch. All right. So again, quarterback ISO, we're going to be here. Again, we're going to be staying behind the quarterback. And if this thing rolls out, we're going to stack up and play behind it. Again, how about this pop pass, right? We're going to open the free safety up. On a piece of paper, this guy's got it, but whichever way this guy opens, we're going to have the free safety bring his eyes to that side. Okay, so what they'll do is they'll zone read this thing. He's got 2, put a pop pass right into there. Been burned on that a couple of times. Part of the reason why I like cover 4 better than cover 3. I mean, this is, this is a great high school offensive play. I mean, you got to have that. You got to, to me, if I'm an offensive coordinator, quarterback ISO, quarterback counter, pop pass. How can you not? Okay, trips closed. All right. So we're going to play solo here. These guys are 3 over 2. He's got him. I'll try to sneak him back in the box in case it is a run, try to get a late box player. But again, he's got this gap. He's got this gap. If they were to run, and again, we've gone over this 100 times, which is a good thing. If they were to run some sort of speed with this guy blocking, he's got the high guy, he's got the low guy. If they ran zone read, it'd be the same thing. He's got the high guy, he's got the low guy with this guy blocking. If they arc block him, oh, excuse me. He's got 2 guys, he's got this gap, he's got this gap. If, I think I went too fast. If they run speed with this guy blocking, he's here, he's over the top, he's back in here. So lots of speed's freaking tough. They'll come like this and they'll cut back. In some plays, some places, they'll design the speed to cut back. They'll run, you'll see the quarterback take 3 steps and immediately cut back because they know carry. Again, this guy as well. We've been, I'll tell you where we've been burning this a lot is on the goal line because, this guy's got to stumble his feet and the quarterback just powers his way in. So, it's, 3rd and 1 on the 1 and they come out in 10 person, they come out in 11 personnel and they give us, they give us a big set. Here's the other thing is that when we're playing the level of ball that I'm used to is that guys will come out in 21 personnel, but play all these formations. I forgot to mention that at the beginning, right? So Stonebridge, Carrie and Colin are on the line here. They're in my league from Virginia. team on Leaf Stonebridge, they come out in the single wing, and the next player, they'll come out looking something like this, or they'll be in 20. We can't sub out. We got to adjust. And why aren't they subbing out? Because they don't have to, or they don't have the people, just like we don't have the people. Trey, I think the next one. Okay, so again, we aren't a big. Okay. Flash. Hold on. Adam, we aren't a big under too high team versus 11. We play gap, they'll cover 3 and use to cheat the safety over the quarterback run again. So, okay, so Adam Gale says, I don't know if you guys can see this now. Adam Gale says they aren't a big under too high team versus 11. We play gap, they'll cover 3 and use the middle of the field cheat safety to help us on quarterback, help us in the quarterback run game. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. And again, Adam, the thing that bothers me is that pop pass, because they come in, fake the quarterback run, boom. So yeah, that so it's basically zero coverage. But yeah, that's an excellent way to do it too. So Adam, are you on here? Adam, are you a big on too high? So are you playing a 2-eye and a 6 to the away side, away from the 3-6 side? Carry flash T to trips side, mesh wide. I don't carry. I don't know what you're talking about here. Flash T, previous slide. Are you running some sort of pass play on me? Let's see what you got here. We like 2s if we're getting into, okay. If we're getting so, yeah, Adam. So yeah, Adam, I heard that. Yeah, I get you. And so Adam says that they like 2s when they're getting insert run game. And if I'm correct, Adam, you guys will play soft off the 2s and try to either play front side of the 2s or lag of the 2s, which is good. Which is good. Carrie, if you want to press your mic, I don't know what you're talking about. So anyway, so we are Trey. Again, we're going to go ahead and play solo here. Try to sneak this safety into run game if we can. If this guy blocks, he knows he's got to come up and he's a 2-for-1 player, right? So he's got to. Okay, he's here. He's here. He's here. So that's the way we're playing here. If they were to run power read away from the tray closed, again, we need to bring somebody over. Over. He's here. He's here. And we're short back here. If this guy were to block, he'd be back in here. Again, we've got to stay behind the quarterback. Got to stay behind the quarterback. I think I'm on my last slide here. Yeah, so here are some follows I like. A complete linebacking is my Bible. If you ever see any, if you can get your hands on any Ron Van der Linden tape, very, very good. My quarters covers made simple by Shap Boyd is based on here. I still read Exno Labs. I still read Coach Huey, even though I don't go on as much as I like. Follow Glacier Clinics. I still pick up some stuff from there. My favorite, look at him. I got you first here. I'm glad you're here, Vass. Craig Rose is very good. Cody Alexander, Andy Ryland's good. Oh, I thought I had him on here. Hoover, Barry Hoover's got a really good website. Kyle Kogan, Bill Williams, Tyler Maines. I'm sure I'm leaving people out. If you're on here and I left you out, I apologize. Guys, if you have any questions, I answer all my emails. DM me or Twitter me or whatever. Hit me up on Coach Huey. I'm happy to help anybody out. Great job. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. I'm good to go. I'll stick around for a few minutes. If you have any questions, I'll do the best that I can to answer them. My wife's already up in bed, so I got plenty of time. Thank you, Coach. Whoa. Here we go, D-line. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate the twos. All right, guys. Thanks, Jerry. D-line coach in Texas. Good. Well, thank you. Thank you. You're welcome, guys. It's really been my pleasure and honor to serve you tonight. I hope that you got something out of it. And take care. I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to stop my recording. Hopefully it record. I don't know. Recording